Hey guys, thanks for checking out the channel. Tobin here with you. If you could, hit the subscribe button, like button. And if you like the Tobin and Leroy radio show, you guys can watch it every single day from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on the QAM YouTube page. I will put the link there in the description. Go subscribe over there. Appreciate everybody who has. You guys can also interact with the show there live. Get in on the chat. We take your comments. We take your jokes, your fat jokes, your big nose jokes for me. Whatever you got, dude. I'm here for it. So one of those mornings where I woke up and a lot of notifications on the phone, which I think, shows you how much Heat Nation is ready for some action. But, I was getting like a lot of retweets on this video that I had posted from, what was it, last summer? It was from July of 2021. And it was a Kevin Love quote. I was like, well, what's going on here? And then I see under all the Twitter notifications is a notification from Shams that says, the Cavaliers, here's the headline, Cavaliers, Kevin Love finalizing a contract buyout, Heat to emerge as suitor, according to sources. So Shams Charania, he writes, the Cavaliers and Kevin Love finalizing a contract buyout with the Miami Heat expected to emerge as a suitor for the five-time All-Star should the sides finalize parting ways, league sources tell the Athletic. Love has spent 9 seasons of his 15-year career with the Cavs, being part of their 2016 team that won the championship and making consecutive All-Star games in 2017 and 2018. He's battled through a thumb injury earlier in the season and was removed from the Cavaliers' rotation in recent weeks, clearing the way for him and the organization to begin discussions on a potential buyout agreement where he will seek better playing opportunity. And obviously provides a couple of things that the Heat could really, really use. One is some size and a viable help in the front court, a guy who is, actually like above 6'8", which would be nice. Kevin Love is one of those guys who, no matter the age, no matter what, he's just one of these guys who just can roll out of bed and give you, a bunch of rebounds. Been a really good shooter his entire career, 37%. This season, Kevin Love has been a guy who has been shooting 35% from three and just averaging 20 minutes per game. He's averaging 8.5 points, 7 rebounds, and, obviously isn't playing very much. I mean, it's a very big team in Cleveland. You can see why he's been phased out. It's an odd relationship. It feels like, last year Kevin Love probably had one of his better seasons. He shot 39% from three. There was even some buzz, from certain ingrates who were trying to swoop in there and get Kevin Love the sixth man of the year after he was coming off the bench and try and steal it from Tyler Hero. But it is a fascinating match because for a couple reasons. One, the theoretical veteran that comes in here that helps out a Pat Riley team. That is, something that they really love to add. Did it in the bubble season. Have done it in years when it hasn't exactly worked out. But it's been decent. You think Joe Johnson back in the day with the Miami Heat. And yeah, you would feel like Kevin Love would get some playing time here. And oddly enough, the article here says the Heat have an open roster spot and have canvassed the market recently for a big man. Sources say Miami could offer Love a reserve role with ample minutes behind All-Star Bam Adebayo. And what's interesting about the Bam thing is, and this is why I was getting so many retweets, Kevin Love has a lot of admiration for Bam Adebayo. And this was him from the Olympic team, an Olympic run that was cut short for Kevin Love, but early on in the process was talking about his admiration for Bam Adebayo, and this was Kevin Love.
I always feel like on or off the court that everybody's kind of my superior in a way that I can learn from them. And those are two guys with incredible skill sets. I know Bam's coming on here to speak next, but he's somebody that I really admire. He's actually somebody whose jersey that I have in my locker. It's a very select few, but I love how he plays. I love what he's about, his story, where he's came from, and, just how great he's done in this league in a very short period of time. And then,
yeah, it's some beautiful stuff. Like, one of the few guys that he had his jersey in his locker. They had exchanged jerseys in the past, as you can see here. and love what he's about, loves his story, what he's come from. And this is not a thing that is new with Bam. There's a lot of guys in the league who have a lot of love for Bam. I think the thing that's interesting about Kevin Love is Kevin Love's a lot older than Bam. He's nearly 10 years older than Bam. So it's not like they're from the same generation. So it's kind of an interesting thing that you have a guy here who has so much love for Bam and the way that he plays the game and isn't necessarily in his age group. We've heard it with Bam with, Tatum and, De'Aaron Fox and Bradley Beal and guys who are just a little bit younger. But Kevin Love's a lot older than Bam and has those feelings for him. And I understand why. Dude is awesome. So, look, I was already like the first thing I did after this happened was like, oh, I got to go look at my old tweets from Kevin Love. There's got to be a lot of slander there from the Big Three era, which there was. But that was a different time. I'm a different guy now. I'm not the same. I'm not that guy who is, Pope Petty, who's trying to hose down everybody unless it calls for it. So, it is, I will say, like, it feels like it fits a need a lot more than, some of the point guards that have been out there, the Russell Westbrooks, the John Walls. I feel like this is very much in need right away. And I think if Kevin Love is looking around and saying, decent team that could really use my services right now, a couple spots behind the team that I am currently going to leave, seems to make a little bit of sense. It seems like it makes a little bit of sense. And even with, him being in a down shooting year, I mean, this Heat team right now, I mean, they will take a drop of rain in a barren desert that has been their 3-point shooting this season. Anything could really, really help with that. Certainly a guy who is, smart. I mean, we're going to fawn over that outlet pass that he makes, getting it going, throwing it over his head full court. I mean, nobody does that like Kevin Love. I would make fun of that a lot. Like, everybody would make it seem like Kevin Love is the only guy in the league who could do that. Like Ben Simmons did that yesterday. He did like a one-handed heave. And ended up, I think it was Bridges, Bridges who scored. I don't remember if it was Bridges, but it was either Bridges or Dinwiddie. And they got a bucket off of a Ben Simmons full court heave. And I'm like, oh man, that was a great pass. But when Kevin Love would do that during LeBron's return to Cleveland, oh my God, they acted like he invented that pass. Oh my God, it's the Wes Unseld. He did it. So anyway, it's bubbling up again. But it's not going to be like that here, dude. When he is here and he does that pass, that is my guy, Kevin Love, coming in here and going to revamp. He's going to turn back the clock, all right? He's going to turn back the clock right next to Bam, and it's going to be fantastic. I am curious. I wonder what is the plan coming out of the break, because if they do get a Kevin Love, is he going to start next to Bam? Do they go right away with a new look? Or will he be the backup big? Because they're also planning to get Omer Yurtseven back. And, there's been a couple like Jason Jackson and Ron Rothstein have mentioned this recently, that the original plan for Miami this season, which, has been an interesting leak, that has been put out there, is that they were planning to start Yurtseven next to Bam this year. They were not planning on starting Caleb Martin. Caleb Martin was going to come off of the bench. So having this time off, do they retool, revamp, and go in that direction? Or if they are able to get Kevin Love, does he start next to Bam Adebayo? Is that the sell that gets him here to say, hey, right out of the bat, we'll start you. We'll see how that goes. And, I would be interested to see that, because, look, he seems to have very positive thoughts about the Heat big man. And maybe it is just that match that they need to cause some kind of a spark. And see where it goes from there. But interesting to see that finally, after all these maneuvers, everybody yelled at the Heat, "You're sleeping, Pat!" That they finally appear as the top name in the pursuit of somebody. A whale. A little bit long in the tooth, but certainly is a guy with a name value and has a nice resume.